There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We judge it for podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Qualify people who willing to sell. Blessing that time and the efforts are rest. The brothers giving us care and the parents of them. The work with my life without care.
I live
Master.
Clay Palace, who make you? I can't ask you to be benyo. Say my journey, Tina can ask my jamo. And yes, I know money. And more I know. And you love
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grandmaster.
And I didn't ya to money, and I said ya to money, and I couldn't play ya to money, and I could do ya to money, and I didn't ya to money, and I said ya to money, and I couldn't play ya to money, and I could do ya to money, and I forget it now ya to money. That's the baby, and I forget it now. Cause you walk on my ya to money. Yeah.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grandmaster.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talk it for podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Qualify people who willing to sell. The blessing that time and the efforts are rest. The broadcast we giving are real and the promise my best. To work with my life without fear. From Grandfather Nima to Lufa, from River Sass, River G to Chide, from Grand Crew, Bombing, Cape Mount, Montserrat, Sano to Backbaloo, from Maryland, Bonk to the Mikey B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa.
Indeed, Sktv, we are the best in Liberia. Sktv, we are the best in Africa. Sktv, we are the best around the world, folks. What I want to say, the pleasant good evening, compliment of the season, Merry Christmas, and the prosperous New Year 2026 to all of you, our people, our followers, our viewers, and those of you that are always taking up your time, and checking on us, no matter the situation. You're always checking. That's the best thing to do, because life is not easy. Sometimes you'll be thinking that all is well, but at the end of the day, there are a lot of difficulties that we all also go through as a media practitioners, journalists, and so forth, as you want to call. But it's not easy everywhere. But God is there. God be God. They're just saying that God can cook monkey head. The heads and all on the market. So all the animals you see in the forest. Oh God. God is wonderful. That's why as a human, don't see the animal like you want to treat them like maybe the way you want to. No. But because these animals have been well taken care of by the Almighty God. But again, at the end of the day, this animal also needs you to survive. And you need them also to survive. You see how life look? The animals, they need each other to survive. That's why in what we call the animal farm, right? Or in the forest, the animal they eat each other. So what you want to say? So when you tell us that maybe it's not good for the animal maybe to eat each other or to do things to one another, no. Yeah. So good. Thank you. Yeah, it's not easy, but thank you, people. Let's try to show people. Today is what? Today is Thursday. Having to be the 18th. Wow. Oh, wow. The month is running though. Today is the 18th of December. The month that talk about empathy. The month that talk about love. the month that talk about giving. Today is the 18th of December. Good evening. Let me share the link around quickly. Our team will be here very soon. So we will also talk about a lot of happiness, but the social news is getting interesting. Either you join us in the social activities or you remain on the fence. It's up to you. As far as we are concerned, the Speaker of the Republic of Liberia, who that's it? Rachel Number Honorable Rachel Number has founded joined the Social Club Association. Anyway, you're just on the fence. People moving. We're moving with speed. Then you will know what we're talking about. Let me see quickly, share the link real quickly. But people, good evening. Thank you for joining us. And let me say thanks to Rita Zine. Thank you so much for the visitation today. In fact, she encountered she here from the US, one of the prominent and workaholic son of our daughter. Yeah, in fact, she came here to see us. Well, the sons of Tupepem. That means we who are here doing all of the hard work. So since Rita Zene were here today, she said, "Maybe I want to see all of you. I want to see all of my children, my boy children, all of my sons." I said, "But why you just keeping with these and see the same thing?" So today she was here today. So I want to say thank you so much, Ma'am Rita, for the visitation, and that was just so unique. And I hope that most of you too who are also here in Liberia, you will do the same. Come here and visit us. We are your people. We know we are your brothers and what sisters. Yeah, we have women here too also. And not only sons, we have women here too, Mama. So we have some of our sisters also here. Yeah, that we that you will see when you come here. There's a duplex. Yes, indeed, there's a duplex. I've been built, a radio empire. I've been built by Honorable Musa Asambelete. So by the time you enter, you will see all of the, you will enter into the compound. You will see the happening. You will see, all of the tower, and you will see everything. So she was like, "Maybe I'm so proud of Honorable Musa Asambelete for the work done, especially, entering this compound and seeing the tower, seeing everything. I'm really impressed." So I said, "Okay, that's good, Mama. Thank you for seeing your children." I said, "Yeah, I'm happy to see all of my boys' children, all of you, the grown men. I'm happy for all of you for the job well done." So indeed, it was indeed unique today. So let me say thanks to our sister Rita Zine for joining us here today. And people share the show. So many things to talk about. The social issue is indeed unique. Yeah, sorry, Mark, I just did already, my dear brother. Sorry. Yeah, I've come from the tense, traffic. So, the rush was not easy, but I have to. Yeah, thank you, Mark. I did already. So you got to come on, all of you, Mark, and the other okay, Mark is here already. No time to waste. My dear brother Mark, good evening, good morning, and good afternoon.
Well, good to be here. Another day. Today is the 18th of December. We are roughly how many days? 7 more days or week. Christmas is going to be next Thursday. We call it the holiday season because it's not only the Christmas, we are transitioning to the new year. A lot will be happening into 2026. We'll be making some adjustment to the scheduling and to the fixture, the topics and things that we discussed, and the presentation of the show as well. So the new year come with new things. In every year you want to upgrade, you want to do new things, you want to get away from the status quo. So it's good to be here. To the friends out there, to the listening audience, share the show. We will continue on the discussion from yesterday, and Pastor Jerome Cummins will call on the show today to give his perspective. We'll talk about the cultural upbringing, how when we transition from Africa coming here, how we assimilate into the culture, some of the challenges, especially for men, most especially men. Because for men, we are responsible, we are stewards, right? We are given the instruction or the divine mandate from God to be the head of the home. We cannot be the one to keep making mistakes. That's why our man, any man that uses emotion to make decisions, he's not a real man. Because when a woman made a mistake, the man is supposed to be there to cover up. That's why you are given, like I said, that mandate from God from the day of creation. there were certain mandates that were given to men. So we cannot mess up. Because when we messed up, there are a lot of people that will become victims. That's why we cannot mess up. Or female messed up, yeah, it's on her. If a male mess up, the children, the family structure, everything collapse. That's why we cannot be emotional in our decision making. We got to think 3, 4, 5 times. Overthink things before we can make a decision, because once that decision is made, my brother, we can only live with the consequences. So the men of God will call, we'll start a discussion maybe from the first one.
Yes. So also while waiting for the men of God, you are quite correct. Let me see quickly more. There's a trending social. Some we into the social, activities or the social time. There are a lot of. Well, first of all, I welcome Brother Ali quickly, because the other social topic, I know it will end soon. But Ali, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening.
Maybe good afternoon from my end. Good afternoon, Mom. Good afternoon to our listening audience and followers. We are glad to be here again this afternoon. How's Mama Labira?
Well, my brother, okay. Thank God for life. At least we, like Mom just stated, we have 7 more days to go into the Christmas before the New Year. But in the Liberians and they are all gearing up for the celebration, no matter whether you have it or not. As usual, other people will be sad and other people will be happy. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is to see that day and to be able to celebrate. So, my brother, yes, we are good to go. Apart from the social news, the social happening, and with the latest happening, Mark, quickly, some
Ali Regime Speaker. We get morning got power. That one we call power structure and power dynamic. You lay the foundation for the topic within the social issue. So you the platform, because I don't know how you came out to the topic. So you lay the premise, then we'll follow. I'll leave myself with chiming.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you, Mark. So, folks, today been a little busy day for some of us, and Mark, even though says Rita's in it, she wanted to reach out to some of you, but the time different, or the time zone was not the same. So she was here today. She paid a courtesy visit at Truth FM first. Let me start off with that. Indeed, and that's one of the things. So we're happy, and we have her today. In fact, touring the entire compound. She was so impressed with the kind of work that been done by Honorable Musa Hassan-Belete. I think let's start with that first. Then we move on to the most active or social talking points. So yeah, so apart from that, Mark, today myself I've been a little bit busy with a lot of activities. But later on, when I went on the social media, I came across the regime speaker. That in fact, and that of the political advisor to the office of the president, Madam Mandina Cooper, also in fact with this suit, or in fact saying that she's a spouse of the regime speaker, and that's part of mixed reactions in the public land. That, oh yes, this thing I've been having for a little time, but at least now it's in the public land. In fact, seeing them wearing the same suit. I think that photo was taken somewhere around Israel. I said to be corrected, Grand Gillette County. I don't know, other people call it traditional wedding, other people call it no, they just went for some activity. But Mom, that's the latest social news. What say you? And
they made one man like Gaza intelligent way. The man lady plan for the show. Look, that picture when I saw it to me, I thought it was a traditional wedding. And I started asking, someone posted something that had me cracking up, right? The president said, the last time we checked, this woman had a husband, I don't know, one Senegalese that was working and kind of lobbying with the same government. And all of a sudden, in no time, she's messing with the regime speaker. So they're going to file a protest with the president to have her dismissed, because it's unethical that it's like a cross-pollination from the executive now to the first branch of government. And let me give her credit. She's very talented. I don't know how she can execute with such level of flawlessness. I mean, from the former president to regime speaker. I mean, she always seemed to find her way, whether it's in the political discourse. I saw the point in time she was a candidate on the ballot as well. And to find herself a chief advisor, one of the advisors, senior advisor to the sitting president, and at the same time being the baby mother of the past president, the former president, and now she's messing with a regime speaker. Trust me, I think she need to write a book how to snatch high value men, because she need to show our sisters their game, how she can play. I don't know for women out there that can oscillate between people in the governments, in the public sector structure. I mean, current president, past president, regime speaker. I mean, how can you do it? Maybe she got some kind of a magic formula and she need to help other females out there. Because let me tell you something, during the California gold rush, right? People always say, oh, they got people who are opportunistic. I don't know. Life is how you understand it. You can consider that to be. But people say, people like they call them gold digger. I said, no, at a certain point in time, you can exceed that whole stage of a gold digger. At this stage, I think she's selling shovels. I don't think she's digging gold, because when you're digging gold, the gold industry is a large industry, right? They got some people who want to dig for gold, but some people realize, okay, when we all dig, we won't all find gold, but people need shovel to dig gold. So at a certain point, they say, you know what? Let me move from digging gold to selling shovel. I think that's the level we are entering. I think she's selling shovels now.
Monday question to you: how come she, instead of the speaker dressing in the same suit?
Yeah.
Because even if you look on is that the left hand? Look at that photo. Is that the left hand of the speaker? I'm seeing ring.
Ring, yeah.
I don't know whether he's divorced also, or he's still married. We don't know yet. But he kind of think, Mark, what say you with two of them dressing in the same suit?
That the conflict of interest and the moral upbringing we're talking about. The last time we there was the speaker said, I think the relationship been a little bit turbulence, right? Because I remember the former wife, I think they were in court for some. I can't actually remember the full story, but I know there was some legal fight going on between the current speaker and his. I don't know whether they are divorced or they are separate or they are separated. But Mentela couple, like I said, I don't know, man. She's too talented. She's smarter. She know how to play her game. You can say what you want to say. At the end of the day, this woman comes with a special level of talent. Like I said, I don't know. You know what happened? Joseph Braga and Georgia are rivals. For the fact that she can be a senior advisor to the current president and be a baby mother for the past president, even though they are at rival politically, that alone is a different level of skill I haven't seen in recent time, or maybe in my lifetime. And now, at the same time, she's flipping to the regime speaker who just, I would say, the chairman in command, because the speaker actually
the chairman, Mom. You are correct.
Yeah. In matter of fact, not even the chairman in command, when it comes to the operation of government in a democracy, the speaker wins more power than even the vice president. He's second in command. The only difference is that's why the Constitution says, but when you look at the day-to-day activity as in who is active and who wins more power, the speaker carries more power, because the vice president is only there in case when the president cannot continue. So he almost like a backup plan, but the speaker is active. So from the day-to-day operations of government, the speaker wields more power than even the vice president. So for a woman who can be with the current president, senior advisor, former baby mother of the former president, and now she is with the speaker, my brother, man.
So quickly, Teresa, before we cross over to Brother Ali, if you want to give her maybe some kind of more, maybe compliment or maybe a award or something, or maybe if you want to give her me, what would that be, no?
I don't know. I think we'll get to a title. We got to give us an honorable title in that country. Something like, we got to induct her into the Hall of Fame, the Women Hall of Fame, because this woman, like I said, I have never seen this level of talent. I don't know how she go about doing it, because it takes a special gift and a skill. There's a difference between a gift and a skill, Mabel. I want you to understand that. A skill is something you can learn over time. A gift is something you were born with. Someone can take a skill away from you, they cannot take a gift from you. And at this stage, I won't say this is a skill, I think it's a gift. To do it between three individuals in different circles of government. Regime come, regime go, and she still maintain it. Come on, man. It cannot be a skill, it's a gift. I think she's
wow. But Aliu, what say you, my dear brother? Because one more just said, I think from the past to the current, she stay into everything, and she don't care whether people want to talk, what they want to talk is up to them. I don't know whether emotionally, maybe I wanted to add more, but that will also go back to you. Emotionally, I think she's strong emotionally, or maybe socially, maybe she understands some of the social maybe issues, activities, and no need to give waste of own time. So she understands no matter which way it plays. Yes, she just want to enjoy her life and move on as a human. What say you?
Yeah, thank you, Maybon. Laughing at Moy saying he need to give us some credit.
Yeah. Got to honor this woman. We got to indulge her in the female Hall of Fame.
The problem, she got a good resume. Yeah. She got a good resume. And like Mabel, like you said, or emotionally and socially, she's strong, because it will take a woman to come out and break silence on this woman that have been in the air, so many speculation. Excuse me. And you are seeing the dress code. Mabel, this is not something to ask question about. You, Mabel, you will not dress like that, and then you see an ordinary woman that you had no connection with to just go and wear the same clothes. The two of you are mashed up together, sitting together. And I tend to be corrected, but in most cases, we see only couples dressed like that. Okay, your wife will go buy setting lapa, she sold her lapa suit, and then she made a hat and shirt for you. Okay, that's how it looks. So there is nothing there to question. But socially, emotionally, she's strong, because this kind of thing, like you see, her name is the issue now is trending, taking the whole social media. She don't care. Socially, emotionally, she's strong. She know what she's doing. But like Mon said, we know the former president, yes. Now the regime speaker, who knows? Maybe 2028 will be the president himself. She will now that she's not the spouse of the president, Joseph Numa Bakai. So, it's not impossible, man.
Hello, brother Ali, don't come here and come.
It's not impossible. That means say that
But Ali is saying the truth.
Impossible. Ali Masare say it, Sktv say it. So forget about that one.
Maybe let me tell you something. You know what make this particular photo to be powerful, right? When you look at the African tradition, whenever you wear a suit and you match with the female, it's a power statement. It means that what you guys going on is legal. It almost like a traditional marriage that how people will interpret it. Sure. And from a social standpoint, like he's sending warning to the rest of the women out there in Liberia, stay away. This guy is taking, right? So she's making two powerful statements at the same time. When you see it from an optical standpoint, it's traditional, which means it's not just regular boyfriend and girlfriend thing. Worst of all, she broke the news on social media. It's not like somebody bringing gossip. She herself talked to the media airwave and she broke the story. So she's telling you that there is not a regular boyfriend and girlfriend thing. There is more deeper than why you think. Matter of fact, we do a public display for the rest of the country to see, and to the women out there, to the girlfriend, the side chicks, stay away, because this guy now he in my cage. Total possession of the region.
Maybe 1 second before you play the video, where is the Senegadi man?
I can't move coming to the other side. Man.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
So let's get a video.
Oh, my name is Magdala Cooper. I'm the senior political advisor to His Excellency Joseph Boakai, President of the Republic of Liberia. But I also happen to be the spouse of the Speaker. Oh, my name is Magdala Cooper. I'm the senior political advisor to His Excellency Joseph Boakai, President of the Republic of Liberia. But I
there you have it. Power statement. Warning.
Yes, indeed, Mark. So I just wanted to just maybe add up to what Mark was saying, but Mark, like Brother Ali just started quickly before we go into our discussion on yesterday. This is the same thing, and these are all of the social issues or social activity. But Mark, what going to happen with the other maybe previous I don't know, spouse or what you may call, or maybe someone that you recommended to the government that this person is a person of interest, and this person having to be close or maybe close to her. And now we see the region speaker close to her, and in fact wearing the same uniform. Someone was said, because you just stated that wearing the kind of clothes is speak volume. Maybe some of you today you don't know. Wearing the same clothes, and yet people are talking about people are saying in there that people private issue. No. They are private.
They are private issue. Yeah, what you talking about? Private issue. What you got? You on social media on video talking about private issue. Is that what you got private? The woman is a senior advisor to the president. She's a public figure. She works directly in the executive mansion. Her husband is the third man in command in the country. They're talking about private issue. What you got private? She herself breaking the news to you on live on camera in this social media generation. Is that your definition of what you call private? Is it what you call privacy? Come on, let's go, brother. Talk your thing. What you want to talk
about? So let's move back to that more. What's going to happen to the guy that you recommended? I think he's saying the government. You know, it's been a little time now, been a little down, but I think he's still collecting salary. Or let us stay enjoying all of the facility. But what's gonna happen? Playing between two persons at the same time.
Well, I won't call that playing between two persons. Up to the ex-spouse or the former spouse, however way you want to call it. It's up to him to come and break the news. Because for a woman to be brave and come on social media and break the story about her relationship with the current speaker, then it means something is not working for the other guy. So it's up to him. The burden of proof is upon him. But she cleared her part. Like I said, it's a power statement. When people jump up in the same suit, like I said, Africa is most like traditional wedding or something, married couple. You won't just see a regular boyfriend or girlfriend wearing traditional clothes. No, it's not common in our cultural setting. So that's one statement. Then I say she's making another power statement. Matter of fact, she's the one breaking the story. She's telling you. So she already kind of a softening the ground for any kind of a criticism. She's way ahead of us. That's why I keep telling you, she need to be inducted into the Women Hall of Fame, the Female Hall of Fame, because I have never seen this level of talent. I mean, it's one thing to mess with an individual, but it's another thing to mess with people who are political rivals in the same country from one administration to another. It comes with a special and exceptional level of a gift. So I would say you can call her what you want to call her. For me, I'm not here to play moral police. I am just saying she's talented, and I applaud her for the level of skills and talent she has exhibited over the past few years. When it comes to dating, she needs to write a book on dating and give women the playbook how to snatch high-value men and men of influence on the market when it comes to the dating game or in the dating space. That's all I can say, Mabel.
Yeah, thank you. More people are not giving the title to this movie. People are saying that this is a movie, and someone said games women play. I don't know which all of you who are commenting, you think the title of the movie. It's not easy, but a bit. Look, every time you live long. But I'll leave you coming on. But every time you live long, there are a lot of things you will hear, there are a lot of things that you will see. And this is interesting. I don't know what the title of this movie, and I've seen most of our commenters, they are giving their own need according to what they are also experiencing on today. But Ali, what's going to happen? And what Sayula Lemon just said, the guy now, he should forget it and just say, sometimes we lose our good relationship. Let me frank. But Ali, back to you. We lose our good relationship just for some players, for some people who are players, in the name of, oh yeah, I found my missing ring. Wanted to find yourself into a very hard zone. So what's going to happen to our brother after maybe divorcing his first wife and children, abandoning the children, thinking that he already have his phone is missing, missing ring.
Yeah.
Mabel, like I said, the woman, she from the former president, now she with the speaker, I can say the second or third man in command, she's going gradually. Don't be surprised when she go to the first man in command. That's what I have to tell you now.
She know the deacon,
When you know the deacon says now, that one part like, hey, my katumu liya unto go. It's a gradual process, small. But now, like the position that we're giving to that Senegalese man, or Liberian could hold that position to be able, yes, we need a Liberian that could take that position, but now it was given to a Senegalese, and we heard that the Senegalese man, well, her man, even though we don't know about being married, this and that, but that's the man we heard that and her boyfriend or whatsoever. So what become of that position I want to be given to Liberian, but because of her influence, and this man having to be her boyfriend, that position was given to him. So what become of that other relationship made, but bring up to speed? What become of that relationship now that she now with the speaker? So why the Senegalese man, is he stay in a position? And what is the state of the relationship? Bring up to speed.
Well, that's a big question, and I can't stay here now and tell you that whether maybe she stay into that relationship or not. But sometimes they are saying that some of us, we can be into 4 or 5 relationships at the same time. So I don't know this is just one example, but sometimes people will tell you that before that person say, I don't want you, Monk, that means that person already have stand back.
You said something. You said funny missing ring. In the whole thing, I told you. I said as you grow older, right, you look at life in itself. You will get to know that 80% of the thing we were taught or we were programmed to believe they are all lies. The whole idea that it's about love, that's a lie. Love is an emotion. It's a fleeting thing. You could love someone today and hate them tomorrow. At the end of the day, there are a lot of things that you look for in a partner before you can say, I'm finding my missing rib. Because if you are not careful, you will be missing in the process of finding your rib. So that two things. You could find your missing rib. We get the direct representation of love. You want to find that partner, so that companionship, someone who will complement you. But if you are not careful, you will end up missing while trying to look for your own ribs. So and that's why I think that is the statement Senegalese man is in for now, because the history is there. So if you get part of that emotional thing, oh, I love the person, I like them, how they look, at the end of the day, no. Relationship goes way further than love. Love is a lie. Relationship is about power dynamics. It's about knowing the person, their interests, knowing whether they complement you, if you guys are compatible. We just saw the story of our brother who ended up killing 5 of his children mother. At some point in time, he used to love her. But why make you think he would be brave enough to go and kill the children? The mother of his own children. So the whole thing about love is a lie. Love does not exist. That's why I told you on so many occasions on this show, I said, maybe when you go down, whether from a cultural standpoint or historic standpoint, even in Africa, because Africa, we are the most conservative people on the planet of all races in the world. We are traditional, right? When you go visit your prospective in-laws, what they can ask you for? They can actually love our husband. They say, no, what do you do for a living? Why you think they will answer that question before even questioning love? Because at the end of the day, love cannot sustain a relationship, right? You must be able to take care of that person. You should provide for them. You should provide security for them. You should start doing some long-term projection if you have kids by this person, because the woman you marry also will determine the outcome of the children you will bring into this world. You marry the wrong person, my brother, not only the wrong person, but your children will become victims. So that's why you don't go with only love. You got to look at the person, and it takes way more than love to sustain a relationship. And I think Medela Cooper is just the perfect testimony of that the whole thing about love is a scam. People are looking for so many things in the process of looking for love, and love is just one aspect of it.
Yes, thank you, Mark, for that. Even maybe we'll take one of our days also to even educate most of our young people, because they don't understand. You are quite correct. That sometimes ask yourself as a person, how come if we claim that love is real, like Mon just stated, how come some of you now you've been into 4 or 5 relationships?
Yeah.
But you are still okay. But you are still moving.
You're still moving.
So that means love is fake. And Mo is right. Mo sometimes people don't understand between affections, because we moved by these things. Affections, the way we see people, our interaction with people, the way people treat us maybe for a few times. So I think our brother from Senegal, I think they, he fought because the way our sister treated him for the few times. So he felt that, no, I think I got to divorce the other woman. She not treating me well, so I had to let her go. So because of that, maybe he had to come close to our sisters and make sure that, and keep her company. But guess what, Monk, the way you are saying, there are a lot of people, sometimes when you meet them on the first visit, this thing that we call first impression, I don't know what you call it.
First impression.
Thank you. Some of you today, you don't know this thing works. And this thing will carry you. Yeah. People behavior for the first day, 2 days, 1 day, 3 days, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, even up to 6 months, they will do it. If it costs for it, no. Sometimes ask yourself, how America, I don't want to put someone into secrets about American people, according to some of the movie you can watch. They even want to cost from the same woman on you for 2-3 years.
Yeah.
They will do.
They will track you to destroy you. Okay. No, the reason that can happen maybe in a relationship, what you call love at first sight, some people call it instant chemistry. I say that's a lie. Those things does not exist. What you're actually saying is, at the time you met the person, your emotion was much stronger than your logic, so you are reacting. It's just an instinctive thing that you saw someone. You go to a party, you go to a club or gathering, to a funeral, you meet some girl, you like how she look, you like her appearance, maybe you guys had a conversation. All you are doing, you are only responding to your emotion, because there is a lot that you don't know about her. And it will take time. Not only time, it will take a very, very long time to start actually seeing the blueprint of people, how they operate, their upbringing, their belief system, how they're going to complement you. There are so many things. There are people who are married or been married for 20, 50 years. They're still learning about the other partner. So it will take someone to actually understand a partner of 15 years. Why make you think you can see someone at an occasion in the club for 30 minutes and you think you are in love with them? That's a lie. All you are doing, you are only responding to what you see. Your emotion at that point is greater than your logic, so you are just going with the flow. And you know the statement that women will make that can make me laugh. They say, "I felt butterfly in my stomach." I said, "No, but butterfly don't live in people's stomach. Butterfly live in gardens." Exactly. So if you get, matter of fact, even if the butterfly is successful to get in your stomach, it won't survive. It will die quicker because
even to that quickly before Brother Ali come and right, Mom. What happened with a young lady, between the ages of maybe 15 to 25, that's still fresh and ready? There'll be having a lot of shooters. After abusing all of these shooters that comes away, the next place that you will end up is to the church.
No, that one, maybe that's a whole.
No, I'm saying, no, the reason why I'm saying this, Mom, I'm saying that the issue of love.
Yeah.
So let's go back, Mom. So you want to tell me that even among all of these shooters, Mom, there was no one person there that you love?
No, because there was no such thing as a love. That's a lie. Love is a myth.
Good.
It does not exist. That your emotion you call interpret as love. That's why they get different kind of love. They got philos, they got agape love. Spiritually, they get the one they can call agape love, your love for God or God love for you, right? When we're talking about this boyfriend, girlfriend thing, what they call philos, that's a myth. All you are doing, you are only interpreting your emotion in the name of a love, because love is much deeper. And you just give a perfect example. You get a girl, maybe from her early 20s until her mid 30s or early 40s. She cannot get married. She dated so many men. You want to tell me that she never loved none of them?
Okay.
No, but it just tells you that love is a lie, it's a myth. Why you keep changing partners? Why you still not married at that time or at that age? Because the whole thing about love is a blatant lie. The thing they call love relationship does not exist. Love is power dynamics. It's all about leverage. Who you are partnering with to take care of a family for a long time into the future, that what we call relationship. That whole thing about love, that's a lie.
Wonderful, Mark. What another lesson to all of us people. Indeed, we just passed through with it. But Ali, what say you with the issue of love, fake, and so forth, with the happening with our sisters and then, brother. Then we also continue with our brother with the issue of people taking away people's lives. And so,
maybe the only thing I will say, I wish them well, and I just hope and pray that after this administration, when the regime speaker is no more speaker, she should stick to him. She shouldn't join into any other next administration that we can begin and go shoot her point to make sure and jack down somebody, because it's like she's building her resume till she can reach to the higher peak. So I wish them all the best. Yes, as a lady like Mong said, she need to write a story so that other women can be able to learn from it. Those people that just jumping here and there. So she will tell you the strategy to play, how to hit target and get the big fish. Instead of going who they be taking buchanan from the river, she will tell you how to get gripper. So that's it. I wish them all the best. Yes, that's it. We can move on, brother.
Yeah, thank you. So we move on with the same thing, because Mom just talked about the issue of love and fake. Because what will happen if you and someone have 5 children, for example, y'all used to love each other, see all of the best of things, promise each other, and at the end of the day, maybe they are misunderstanding. One of the things, Mom, they're always tearing.
I want a question. Finny, I want to add Monk something.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, finish. I said finish.
Okay, all right, no problem. So yes, someone with the issue of people separating, sometimes leaving the children vulnerable. This is not only unique, maybe to only deaths or killing of people, but sometimes you see family members, fathers and mothers who who love each other before, but at the end of the day, Mom, you will see them separating and the children will suffer. This thing happen, and it's just like sports for us. So to even add up to what you just said about love, how come, where is the love that you promised that individual yesterday? Today, you take away their lives. Today, you are leaving them, and in fact, there is no empathy for the children. Because Mom, the reason why our forefathers and mothers before, or especially our mothers, they used to bear some thing from our fathers was because they would always think about their children. But Mom, that generation of ours, we don't care. Especially our mothers or our sisters, our women. They don't care. Even two of you can have 3 to 5, in fact, 10 children. When it costs for them to go, they will go. Maybe the problem coming from them, or the problem coming from you. But Mark, with the issue of taking life away after promising the person that you love them, you want to be with them, and maybe there's some disagreement, misunderstanding, then you go that far, Mark. But so let's move on with our
Yeah,
discussion.
I got a man of God on the line. He want to chime in on the issue, the situation that happened in St. Paul here, that we talk about the whole thing about relationship and the cultural differences when young men or young people come from Africa and they integrate into the American society. So, man of God, you are live on Sktv. We just want to get your perspective, whether it's from the cultural, the family standpoint, or the religious standpoint. What's your view? What's your take on this whole issue that happened to our brother?
Cyrus, thank you. You know, the issue is not culture. It just has to do with people behavior, their upbringing, the way they see things, their perspective as it relates to relationship. Okay? When you come from Liberia and you move here, yes, we understand that there's a cultural issue, environment change, society change. You got to learn how to adapt. But in the process of adaptation, make sure that where you are coming from, you have a good upbringing and the way you see relationship. But look at this young man and this lady. Whether the relationship, whether they were married or not, I don't know. But even if they were married, Cyrus, and you notice that the marital vow had been defiled, the scripture says you can get out once the marital vow has been defiled.
Okay.
You have all right to go. It's up to you if you want to settle your differences and stay there and give another chance. That is up to you. The court cannot force you to leave. The church cannot force you to leave. But based upon scripture, if it is defiled, you get out. But most often when people come, they want to have relationship with a white person, maybe with a black person. And if you look at the African Americans, their upbringing is different. Their upbringing is different.
Yep.
One, they are very violent. That's some of the things you have to take into consideration.
Yep.
They don't tell you tomorrow that they will not do something to you. If they got to do it, they will do it now.
Yeah, they will tell you.
They will do it right now before you come to your senses. But it depends on the home this brother grew up in. If you go to the brother page and you look very well and listen to his different videos, you will understand that the brother adapted a system, a kind of culture system in terms of entertainment.
Okay.
He changed from, you can hear a lot of colloquial, 99% of the thing the guy was doing, the way he portrayed himself, he saw himself as an African American,
okay.
not a Liberian. Even though some of the music portray our culture, but the brother he changed over the time.
Okay, man, let me hold you right there, right? That's why I talk about the cultural context, because you look at his age. I went on his page as well, because yesterday when we spoke, you told me about to visit the page, and he transitioned into like a rap music. So technically, he must seem like he's a Liberian, but mentally and from a cultural perspective, he had already migrated to the American side, the African American side, the rap music, the too many girlfriends, the gun, the violent culture. That's why he was kind of a literally rapping about, because that's what rap music is all about. So technically, he might be a Liberian, but mentally, and the way maybe that's how he ended up with her. But like you said, their culture is different because culture plays an important role. He could try to integrate into the African American culture, but at the end of the day, that friction was still there between him and the children's mother. Because for her, she was born here. For him, he came from a whole different society trying to fit in. So that's the cultural context I was talking about. But anyway, go ahead. I get what to bring out that point.
But Cyrus, let me say this to you. I am also a former Mr. Liberia first runner-up, a former rap musician, a former DJ.
Okay.
So music, although it's universal, but the attitude, the behavior and characteristics of people has to do with themselves. The way they see music. Music don't change people. People's attitude will always be their attitude. Now that you and myself from Minnesota here. The brother is from around the St. Paul end.
Okay.
Talking about dealing with two group of people around there, African American and Somalian.
Yeah. And some Asians too, because the Asians are a lot of them simple.
So you know the kind of cultural terrain he fall within and the things he was doing, because everything he's saying over there, that brother tells you that brother had adapted a system that is not a system or cultural system that is not Liberian like. But let's look at it from a scriptural perspective, right? Again, you and myself right here in Minnesota, I think it is incumbent upon young people to start finding people that they can look up to for mentorship. Pastors, imams, we need to start using our pulpit or our platforms to start talking about the reality of relationship or life. But 99% of the time, most of these relationships today that end up this way, some of the people have attitude and they cannot even manage themselves. So something happened to them, man, they're going for gun or they're going to commit suicide. So they either become suicidal or they have that suicidal thought, or the gangsterism is there, so they just resort into that. This is where the church, this is where the community or the religious community come in. And yesterday, I kind of enjoyed the program. That's why I was motivated to call, because 99% of what I see today as a former media practitioner, what I see on the radio today, even in the newspaper, people don't create a column where they are educating people on these things, or people who do social cycle counseling. You don't see them made themselves available to start talking about these things. So the media, the church, the community, we all have a pivotal role to play. If we don't do so, my brother, we'll always have these things to deal with. And it's not today. It started yesterday, but now the speed within which it's moving, every young man thinks it's okay that you can take somebody's life, or you can take a man's life or a woman's life if you disagree.
Okay.
So
Mebon,
it's a serious issue, very serious.
You got question for Pastor Comments, because I want to take this thing before we can exhaust the last 13 or 14 minutes before going to the break.
Yes,
angle to this thing. So you can ask your question, then I will follow through. So go ahead.
Yes, good. Thank you. In fact, let me say thanks to the pastor, and I hope and pray that at least sometime he will come on, maybe especially on Wednesday, at least so that we can be able to talk to our people, educate them socially, so that they'll be able, to live a better life. But Pastor, let me go. Let me also add up to what Mom been asking, or if I'm saying. So that move with the issue of this thing happening. What a best way that you people think that some of these things can be stopped? Because yesterday my brother and mom were talking about some of the stress that some of the young people go through, some of the things that happen to them. But at the end of the day, sometimes our sisters, our mothers, they play games. Sometimes they play them, maybe they do things like business. What do you think will be better for all of these things, or what you think is the way forward for this thing to be stopped? Because this is terrible. And this is not good for our society, especially hearing these things coming from that end. But what do you think that will happen, and what the way forward for all of these things to be able, or maybe even if it's not stop 100%, but at least to be curtailed?
Thank you, Bevon. Like what you guys said yesterday, and I listened to you, I listened to the other brother. One way to stop this, to alleviate this, is to start educating people. Because let's put it at an equilibrium now. Men will cheat, women will also cheat. Men will use people, women will also use men to achieve their goals. But if you don't have the right people, right, to start educating people in terms of relationship or what people do in terms of child support and how they do it. But look at Mabon. 99% of the women who sit on the internet and talk, they don't talk about these things. They insult from morning to night. Not like what you guys were doing when Mom and my other brother was being blunt, that some of our sisters, they use people for child support in the wrong way, whereas the money should be intended for the children. They use that money to start telling you or the sponsoring a man, and then sometimes some of the guys to start throwing it in people's faces. So again, then we come back to the issue of culture. If you're doing that to an African American, if they notice it, they're coming after you. And before you come to yourself, you are into a serious problem. But maybe that does not give anybody the room, the right
to take a life,
to say, I'm going to use you for child support, and then I destroy you. But here is another part of it. In this country, why it is true that we go through stress, people got to learn to listen to the right people, the right program, the right messaging. They go to the right churches. People got to start conscientizing people. Because, remember, some of our brother then, let's take it the real Liberian way, put it in the real Liberian parlance. When they come, the guy didn't say that the people, or whatever, we got to take something. Yeah. And every time you go take a hand, remember now, some of the people you taking hand with, you're not sleeping with them without condom.
Yeah, most definitely.
Children there,
yeah.
And the child support issue comes. Then when the state get involved, it becomes a serious issue. Everything you work for. I mean, I can't explain it more than the way Cyrus then said it yesterday. But these are the kind of conversation we need to be having instead of dwelling more often, especially on our legislators and our politicians, because they won't betray you and myself, my brother. We will not get the kind of education we need if we don't build our society right.
Okay, I got a different angle to this, right? Because from my observation, being in this community for a very long time, I've seen a total cultural shift in the parental guidance when it comes to the upbringing of children, right? I believe in this country, at a certain age, when you come to this country, it has its own advantage, especially when you are mature before coming here, or at a certain age, maybe your late teens, your early 20s, as opposed to children that came here at the age of 4 or 5 and grew up into the American system. Because when you look at our culture, there are certain drill or certain orientation we were given by parents. And the Liberian kids that were born here or that grew up here, most of the time the parents don't seem, they believe that, oh, we are in America now. So they seem to drift away from the traditional African way of bringing up children. They themselves want to transition to the American system. They would take things from American children that they couldn't take from us back home. They will accept these things. So the reason I brought this up, because even the police report said that a lot of shooting in our community. So one thing I said, well, back in the day, we never wanted they're going to be shooting at each other here. Because no matter whether you go to any public gathering, whether it's a party, whether it's a barbecue or soccer match, the most Liberian men will do, they will cuss each other up and everybody will walk away. But the kids these days, they can't even argue. Even though they came from Liberian home with Liberian parents, now they are taking gun. Gun is the only way they can respond to any criticism or insult. The shooting. So my thing here is, it's not only the cultural aspect, but like the upbringing, the age, also in the parental orientation, because it's becoming a trend. I went to this gun when they had it last July 26th, where we say what the largest in terms of attendance ever. I haven't seen anything like that. That's where I knew it was a total generational shift. The people that I saw at the park were not people that have been seen in the community. These were kids that were born here. Maybe they are 21, 22, 19, 18. They were the one, maybe 95% of the audience. So, yeah, they were flying the American flag. But when you look at the activity, it's almost like it was America's Independence Day, even though Liberian flag were flying at the occasion, because the kids that were in attendance, they were all born here, or maybe they came at a very early age and they all grew up here. So it's a cultural shift, and I think the parents to also bear some kind of a responsibility when it comes to the upbringing of their children.
You're right about that, Cyrus. Look, I said to you yesterday, my brother, you can try to Christianize me, but to Westernize me is not possible. And so you are 100% right. The parents, but now, Cyrus, you and myself here. Let's just look at Minnesota or America as a whole. 99% of the homes, you only have a father or a mother.
Yep.
So what do you think will happen in that home? Especially a home where only a mother who's to have them. She has the responsibility to bring these kids up. But look what the girls will do. They'll take the children and carry them to the grandma or auntie, and what they watch 99% of the day are not educated programs, right? The grandma is watching one African movies, the mom going to a party, the father in the basement somewhere, he's drinking.
Smoking
what
weed.
do you think will happen?
Yep. The kids.
Okay, what do you think will happen? Their kids are now adapting to another system. So 99% of the people you saw, especially the young people, I saw that the young people that were out there, their upbringing is different. But they're coming from a home. So it depends on you, the father, or the mother, you know, what discipline. My son played basketball, like you got one at that one, right? My son played basketball. The guy just 14, but he almost taller than me.
Oh, they grow faster here.
But the man almost taller than me. But every time he come around me, I say to him, my friend, your cool name is Kofa. You are from Liberia, even though you were born here, but no bad French, no bad habit, no bad association. Remember, you coming from a home. If we start telling our children those things, saying it to them, like the Bible says, faith comes by hearing, and hearing the word of God. The more you start telling your children and teaching them and giving them that discipline, Mom, between you and myself, they can come closer to God. But our parents, the parents too, play a major role. When you go talk, oh, this is America.
No, this is not.
Children have their right.
No.
This is America. At the end of the day, in Philadelphia alone, statistics shows that 99% of the young kids that are in prison or in a foster care setting are from the Liberian community. You come to Minnesota, the same thing. Our kids in North Dakota, the same thing. They're adapting to a system or a cultural upbringing that you and myself never grew up in that kind of environment. In Liberia, our big brothers will pat us on the back or will tell us, sit here. You will not leave until your mother comes. And then when your mother go there and see you, she'll say, oh yeah, this is your uncle. If you do the wrong thing,
he will punish you.
Has the right to discipline.
Even in my absence.
Yeah. So it's up to us, the parents. But I love the disco, and I appeal to you guys. Maybe we can do this more often because our sisters, we think that the sisters we think should be helping. They are not helping.
No, they are insulting each other.
All the time, insulting. They're not helping. And the children growing on them, all they know how to do is, I got to smoke.
Yeah, I got to smoke. Yeah.
And the children go and destroy themselves.
Yeah, but anyway, it was great. We expand on it, and we got two more minutes before we can transition to our news bulletin. But thanks for being on the show, Menago. I think we'll find into the new year. We'll see. Maybe you'll be chiming in at least once in a week, something like 30-minute segment for the social issue.
Closer to the time where I'm establishing my party to run for.
I like that, man of God. But one of your own men of God, Brother Edward Berkshire, also who went into the religious cycle for time now. Also saying among another thing we need to do too is to stop spiritualizing. And right, Mom.
Right.
Because everything we see.
Yeah, spiritual. And you forget the hymn. We were first hymn, right? We enter our hymn on a daily basis, our children, our wives, the family, everybody, we are hymn. Okay, there will always be the spiritual side, but you got to take out the physical side too. Matter of fact, the physical side is what we operate in 90 to 95% of the time. So he's totally right. And we will open, like we said, new year. There will be new fixture on the show, new schedule and slot. So we're talking about these social issues because the people who should be talking about these things, because women play a pivotal role when it comes to the upbringing of children, because the men, they're always out and we got different kind of a way we see things. But the women are almost like mind and power causing that competition on social media. So we would choose to do this thing on the radio, especially for our folks here and back home. We need to create a time and a space to discuss and have this kind of a meaningful and deep discussion. But anyway, man, I got thanks for being here. Anything will reach out to you, Mabel. I mean, I'm turning it over to you guys now for the news bulletin. Let me take my little break here.
Yeah, so thank you, Mark. Brother Ali, I don't know what's you, but we got to go now for the news. But we'll come back. We will continue with the programs up to 8 o'clock here tonight. So, yeah, Ali, are you also going for your break?
Ali, you want to go for a break or you want to hold the line on that Melbourne return? Either way, up to you.
No, let Melbourne be playing something. Let me run downstairs and get something. All right.
All right, good. So let me play this video for our followers out there, those of you. Yes, quickly.
Solve global poverty by now? It's a blunt question, but it's a fair one. Every year, developed economies spend hundreds of billions of dollars on foreign aid, and yet there's 692 million people living below the international poverty line. And what's worse, progress has slowed in the last 10 years. Beyond that, the most noticeable recent poverty reductions have actually been in countries who've received relatively little foreign aid, like China and Indonesia. Meanwhile, countries like Malawi, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and Kenya have received enormous sums of foreign aid for decades, and yet economic growth remains weak and at times even negative. Now, there is some selection bias here. Countries don't receive foreign aid because everything is going fantastic. So it's important not to make an assumption similar to concluding that advanced surgery is pointless because people who've received it are on average less healthy than the general population afterwards. But the simple truth may be that foreign aid can't solve deep-rooted structural challenges within the economy itself. Some economists actually go even further than this. They believe that foreign aid is the root problem, trapping countries in a distorted economic system of dependency that kills industry and incapacitates governments. The assumption is, why develop industry and work to produce stuff when it's been offered to you for free? Foreign aid is an unintuitive topic that's worth understanding now more than ever. Governments in the West are rethinking their foreign aid budgets like never before, leaving aid-reliant countries extremely vulnerable to the life or death uncertainties that lie ahead. So, what economic concepts and evidence underpin foreign aid? Why has foreign aid failed to deliver economic development? And finally, how will aid-reliant countries manage if and when the money stops? Whenever you dig into the economics of foreign aid, one thing becomes clear fast. What narrative is told and how data is framed depends on the agenda of who's telling it. This is a wider problem concerning the media reporting of political issues. Take the recent vote in the House of Representatives, where Republicans narrowly passed Trump's bill that combines tax cuts with spending reductions. Depending on which outlet you read, it's either a necessary fiscal correction and economic rocket fuel, or a reckless dismantling of vital public services and a tax scam benefiting the wealthy. News like this can be misleading, which is why I rely on Ground News, a news platform built to break you out of your bubble by showing you how the same event has been reported across the political spectrum. Ground News brings all of those perspectives together in one place, so you can actually compare how different sides cover the same issues side by side. One feature I use all the time is the blind spot feed. It flags stories that are getting a lot of attention on one side of the political divide, but are barely mentioned on the other. It means I can stay up to date and well informed regardless of what my traditional media bubble is and isn't showing me. On top of that, every article on Ground News comes with data showing the bias, factual reliability, and ownership of each source, all verified by 3 independent news monitoring organisations, so you can see how news has been spun and avoid factually inaccurate articles. If you want to challenge your own assumptions, cut through partisan noise, and get a full range of perspectives, Ground News is essential. Head to ground.news/explain to get 40% off the Vantage plan, the same one I use to keep up with stories on the economy and beyond. Foreign aid is a very, very broad term. We're not focusing on humanitarian assistance or emergency relief in this video. This type of aid is an essential means of saving lives in crisis. It's normally quite short and it's not meant to do anything other than to handle one specific problem. This kind of aid is also generally offered to all countries, even highly developed ones, as they deal with things like natural disasters. Instead, the real focus is on development aid. Essentially, it is the transfer of goods, services, money, or technical assistance from a rich developed economy to a poor developing economy. Sometimes it's for free, sometimes it's a preferential low interest rate loan, and sometimes it's with conditions like political or economic reform. Broadly speaking, the donors send funds into the international development sector, which is a complex network of organisations headquartered in developed economies, but with operations in less developed economies. This sector acts as the supposedly impartial middleman, which is very important for reasons that we will explore later. This development aid transfers to the recipient country either through direct on-the-ground operations, the country's government, other international organisations, or smaller local-led organisations. Now that's great, but what is it meant to do exactly? Broadly speaking, the goal of development aid is to end the need for its existence. This means supporting the economic development of low-income countries to enable self-sustaining improvements in the well-being and quality of life of its citizens. This is underpinned by economic theory. In a traditional agricultural-based economy, output is at a subsistence level, producing enough for consumption but nothing more. This means savings are low and there's no taxable income. Consequently, there's no cash to invest, which means low levels of productive capital, physical infrastructure, and human expertise. The result is that the economy remains stuck in a low-income equilibria where it never has enough savings to be able to invest in the productive capital it needs to develop. Basically, you can't invest without saving, but you also can't save without investing. So what comes first? This is ideally where foreign aid comes in. It breaks the low-income equilibria by providing the economy the startup investment needed to begin increasing its physical and human capital base so that it can increase output, real incomes and savings, which can be reinvested back into accumulating more physical and human capital. It's like jump-starting a car when the battery is dead. To fix the problem, you need help from another road user who's generous enough to lend their time and jack their juiced-up car battery onto yours, but once your battery has enough power, you can turn on your engine and charge the battery yourself, no longer needing help from an external source. It's certainly a logical narrative and an enticing pitch. On a small scale, it's also how most startups work before becoming self-sustaining companies. But the problem with economic theory is that, well, it's just a theory. Models founded on unproven assumptions have limited power in explaining reality. Fortunately, foreign aid has existed and been studied for decades. So there's a large evidence base to determine whether foreign aid actually brings about positive economic outcomes. The two that economists really look at is poverty reduction and economic growth. It's important to look at these together. Poverty reduction without economic growth suggests foreign aid reliance, whilst growth without poverty reduction suggests that foreign aid is not benefiting everyone and instead being directed to well-connected people at the top. By and large, the evidence suggests that foreign aid has a positive impact on poverty reduction, especially when it's targeted on agriculture and social services like education and healthcare. There are many case studies that support the poverty reduction efforts of aid. In Ethiopia, aid has funded the Productive Safety Net program, which has helped millions of rural households escape food insecurity through paid work, all the while creating infrastructure for production and trade. In Rwanda, aid-backed investments in healthcare helped to achieve a 68% decline in mortality for children under 5 between 2002 and 2012. And in Vietnam, more wins. World Bank aid has helped fund infrastructure and agriculture reforms that helped to reduce the poverty rate from 50% in the 1990s to below 5% today. These feats are obviously great. It means that foreign aid has helped to create healthier, less insecure, and more dignified lives. But this isn't to say that foreign aid has ended poverty, not even close. In fact, in sub-Saharan Africa, the number of people in extreme poverty has actually increased in recent decades, despite receiving well over $1 trillion worth of overseas development assistance since the 60s. So, what about foreign aid's impact on economic growth? There are a lot of academic studies that have looked at this relationship, taking real data from the past 60 years and examining it using econometric models. In 2010, researchers reviewed over 100 of these studies and found that, on aggregate, development aid has historically had a statistically insignificant effect on economic growth. This is supported by most other reputable studies too. So the evidence is pretty clear on this one. So much so that economists like William Easterly, Danby Samoyo, Hajun Chang, Angus Deaton, and many others have made bold critiques of foreign aid, which has forced the issue into mainstream discussion. The findings feel counterintuitive and blows the previously discussed theory right out of the water. How can giving a country money to invest in expanding its production, healthcare, and education not help its economy grow? Well, there are a number of reasons. Perhaps the most direct reason is that in practice, foreign aid has often ended up replacing domestic industry instead of supporting its growth. It's common for foreign aid to come in the form of providing products like fertilizers, construction materials, or basic tech items. When a country receives this form of foreign aid, it floods the market with free or heavily subsidized goods. And since the demand has been met by a free supply of foreign aid, the need for domestic production disappears. The existing local businesses in the domestic industry that could potentially develop are crowded out of the market, and this removes the revenue from local businesses, eliminates any opportunity for growth, and can even cause closures and unemployment. This isn't just a theory. Africa's apparel industry has seen a major decline in recent decades as it becomes the largest destination for second-hand clothes from developed countries. These donations undercut local manufacturers, and research in the Economic Journal found that this explained half of the decline in unemployment in the industry from 1981 to 2000. From this perspective, foreign aid isn't fostering economic growth, it's replacing it. And with domestic industry weakened, the need for more aid in the future is reinforced. Now, nuance is important here because the decline of a resource-intensive industry isn't strictly a bad thing. High-quality donations and cheap imports have underpinned a lucrative second-hand market for local African merchants, bringing jobs and tax revenue. And ultimately, it represents a more efficient solution to the economic problem. Why use production inputs to make clothes when you can get them for free and reallocate those inputs to other industries? The problem is that there's no evidence that this reallocation has actually happened. Even if it did, it's likely to have gone back down the industrial ladder into activities where African countries have a comparative advantage, like agriculture or raw material extraction. So whilst immediate clothing needs have been met more efficiently, the long-term organic development of the industry has been blocked. On top of this, a lot of the donations are unusable and have been discarded immediately, which is polluting Africa's waterways, urban areas and reserves. And overall, the situation has got so bad that in 2015, the East Africa community banned the import of secondhand clothes. And since 2023, the trade of secondhand clothes within Africa has also been banned. This substitution effect, where foreign aid replaces domestic development, extends beyond just goods though. Services and technical assistance that come from foreign aid often don't involve the local labour supply, which limits learning opportunities for less developed economies. For example, Chinese companies are heavily involved in infrastructure development in Africa, often financed at preferential rates under the remit of development assistance. Sounds good, right? Well, yes. But these companies tend to ship over their own workers, technical experts and management staff from China, which prevents opportunities for skilled employment in the local labour market. The hands-on learning by doing experiences that are essential for knowledge transfer and improvements in the quality of domestic human capital are blocked. So what happens when the Chinese leave after completing their latest mega project? The local labour force remains, having learnt nothing about the intricacies of infrastructure design, planning, construction machinery, operation, project management, energy solutions, supply chain logistics, or financing. Ultimately, this means the local labour force has not grown its capacity, and the country remains unable to independently take on new infrastructure projects in the future, reinforcing its reliance on foreign aid. This issue was recently highlighted by the 2024 African Youth Survey, which showed that Chinese companies only employing Chinese workers, taking employment opportunities away from locals, and not training up or providing skills were all growing concerns around China's influence on Africa in recent years. On top of this, it also leaves the government with a great big steaming pile of debt, which they often cannot realistically pay off. Over 60% of African countries now allocate more funds to servicing debt than they do critical sectors such as healthcare. Infrastructure development is a key ingredient of economic growth, but who owns, manages, produces and learns from it is critically important. This recent history of infrastructure development being done to Africa rather than being done by Africa is a key distinction as to why foreign aid hasn't been as effective as it has in Southeast Asia, for example. But it's not just China that does development to low-income countries through its own organisations. When governments in the West earmark billions of dollars for aid, the common assumption is that most of that money would actually reach the people and local organisations who need it, right? Well, not exactly. Western governments tend to fund large international development contractors instead of local organisations who are actually in the poor developing countries. In 2024, just 12% of funds distributed by USAID went directly to local frontline development organisations. The majority of its funding went to just a handful of major industries based in the United States. USAID itself admitted that this is a problem. The former head of USAID acknowledged the aid industrial complex that concentrated too much foreign aid funding on just a handful of organisations, setting ambitious targets to increase the localisation of funding allocations. Now, to be fair, the funding these large organisations receive can still benefit recipient countries without having to be directly transferred into the country, because the funds pay for projects that are expected to provide positive local outcomes. But this top-down approach still brings about problems of development being done to the poor country rather than being done by it. Whilst these large contractors do pass on some funding to the local frontline organisations, they retain a huge amount of the funding for themselves. Data compiled by the Centre of Global Development captures the problem well. It shows the destination of USAID funding from 2017 to 2021. Of the funds that these American organisations received from USAID, only 14% of them went to local frontline organisations. The large portion of funding that doesn't enter the poor developed country's economy has been called phantom aid by critics. Now, there is still a place for this, especially when there's a crisis that requires fast solutions and capacity building in the local labour force will take too long. And beyond that, doing something like medical development in a low-income country just isn't reasonable. But often these organisations aren't delivering. When the $9.5 billion health supply chain contract USAID had with the industry giant Chamonix began to miserably fail its targets, the department realised that it had no scope in its largest ever contract to penalise the poor performance and incentivise improvements. The problem is that funding for projects is based on reimbursements for work done. The more work created and time spent, the more funding given out. This creates a perverse incentive to drive up the billable hours, focusing on activities rather than results. 98% of USAID grants do not operate on a pay-for-results model. USAID literally admitted this obvious flaw themselves in a 2019 report, which says, and I quote, "Regardless of award outcomes, USAID paid implementers essentially the full award amount for the underperforming awards." This is a classic example of the principal agent problem, where ill-designed contracts enable the agent to seek private interests that conflict with the principals. It explains why the international development sector is riddled with tons of bureaucratic hurdles and administrative paperwork that can be shown off but have unclear tangible value. Hefty 200-page reports, 12-month subcontracting procurement processes, third-party stakeholder consultations, planning applications, risk assessments, monitoring and evaluation schemes, policy alignment and compliance reviews, and outcome frameworks. These activities drive up billable hours, but they don't necessarily deliver tangible results. A USAID report from 2019 found that almost half of their awarded contracts did not achieve their intended results. Careful planning and management is essential, but too much and these activities stall the process, prevent adaptability, and as the evidence shows, draws a huge amount of resources and attention away from the on-the-ground frontline work that's required to effectively use the money and actually impact the economy. What's more is that all of this grift and graft makes these efforts, including the fantastic work that does get done, a logical target for someone to come along and scrap the operation entirely in the interest of efficiency, hypothetically. When the baby and the bathwater are so intertwined, it's easier to just throw out the tub. And again, this crowds out local organisations from project management, limiting skill development in the local labour force. This is a major reason why the traditional foreign aid system hasn't delivered self-sustaining economic growth in low-income countries. In light of this, newer approaches became more commonplace that sought to give impoverished people the funding more directly. Conditional cash transfers like Brazil's Bolsa Familia and Mexico's Oportunidades began to crop up where poor families received cash in exchange for attending school and hospital appointments. Later programs were launched that went further by simply giving their funding straight to individuals living in poverty, no strings attached. These are called unconditional cash transfers, and they've been proven to be an effective means of poverty alleviation. They allow recipients to increase food security and invest in productive assets, but evidence suggests that the effectiveness fades away in the years after the cash transfer ends. So, there's no silver bullet to reducing foreign aid dependency, and there's no evidence to suggest that they can create self-sustaining growth across an entire economy. But perhaps the most commonly cited reason for why foreign aid doesn't work is corruption. The idea is that weak and unstable political institutions have enabled foreign aid funding to be siphoned off by the political elite in aid-reliant countries. There's countless stories of foreign aid funds being embezzled, and these are only the cases where it's actually caught. Politicians of the recipient country who are able to siphon off foreign aid funds are actually incentivized not to invest it into the economy, because if their citizens are suffering, then the international development sector will give the recipient government even more foreign aid money. However, the issue of corruption might be over-exaggerated. This 2020 study by the World Bank found that aid disbursements to aid-dependent countries coincided with sharp increases in deposits at shady offshore banks, but the leakage only amounted to 7.5%, which is significant, but not completely detrimental. On top of this, the evidence is mixed. Numerous studies actually found that foreign aid reduces the amount of corruption in recipient countries, but whether foreign aid fuels corruption or not, it could still make a government and its institutions less effective. Evidence from 1980 to 2009 found that ODA grants had a negative effect on domestic tax revenues in low-income countries that had weak institutions, which suggests that ODA grants made collecting tax a redundant endeavour, reinforcing the need for foreign aid in the future. These are some of the key reasons why, despite many successes, foreign aid has been mostly ineffective in creating widespread economic growth. On a broader level though, realistically, the effectiveness of foreign aid was always going to diminish over time once the quick-win countries who had favourable conditions developed and a smaller pool of recipient countries with prohibitively challenging conditions were left behind. A paradox exists where the countries that need aid the most also happen to have the least favourable conditions for aid to actually work. It's extremely difficult, if not impossible, to solve intergenerationally embedded problems such as ethnic or religious conflict, cultural distrust, weak institutions, and harsh climates with foreign aid, no matter how much you pump into the government and the economy. Syria, Afghanistan, and Sudan are clear examples of this point. Look, there's major systemic issues with foreign aid, and its track record in terms of economic impact has been mixed at best. But it's clearly not a hopeless endeavour in its entirety. More recently, many economies in sub-Saharan Africa, especially the diversified ones, are showing stronger growth, which has come off the back of large infrastructure projects and debt restructuring. We shouldn't be asking whether it works, we should be asking when and how. Foreign aid should help build rather than replace more advanced domestic industries that can eventually become competitive and fund themselves. More agencies should reside with local-led organisations to increase skills development, and pay for results contracts should have a larger part to play in the future. More aid also needs to prioritise effective governance and strong institutions, which are essential to any well-functioning economy. The entire international development sector is currently going through an existential crisis. Economic nationalism and government efficiency are driving 90% cuts in the US, whilst in Europe, foreign aid cuts are making room for increased defence spending. So, what lies ahead for aid-reliant countries? The truth is, it's extremely hard to say with any certainty. This is the first time in modern history that foreign aid has been cut back at such a large scale. There's literally
Well, that was good. So we're back. Mark, Brother Ali, and all of the rest of our followers, our listeners, our viewers. We want to say many thanks to all of you for holding on. We're back after the news break. That is the news bulletin. Mark, yes, we hit nearly 90 minutes. So what's for you? I don't know. What are some of the things? I know that video been around, and thank you for that video. But that video speak a lot. But
Well, it says a lot.
after the news break.
Yeah, we can't say anything about the news break because we didn't listen to the news break. So we took our break. The most we can tell you if we drank juice or water or went to the bathroom. That's all we can tell you. So at least the audience were entertained with that video. I mean, it gave them an update. But back to the discussion, a lot of things happening, especially when you come to the family and the brother, the Edward said it right. You don't need to pray for your kids. You know, when you read the Jesuits order, right, there is a particular sect within the Catholic Church. They call them the Jesuits. They get a particular moral code to live by, apart from the tradition, right? They get a particular way. A Jesuit says, give me a child, and by the age of 9, I will tell you the man or the woman he or she is going to become. The reason being because those are the most formative years of a child's life. Just because you live in America, we got good and bad culture here. When you come to this country, your goal is to view the way how people live here, the culture you can assimilate. Well, it don't necessarily mean that you should take everything that the American people do, that you should do the same thing. No, they got the good and the bad. Your goal is to take care of your children and give them the same good moral upbringing. I'm not saying you should abuse them, because I know from a legal standpoint, there are things you can do in Africa you cannot do here. But the vast majority of the upbringing of children, no, they are universal. Showing them respect, how to respect other people, what to say, how to carry themselves. You don't need American law to teach you that. But the problem is most of our African parents, I think, they are dedicating their responsibility to the state and to the system. That's why the kids coming up better off now than ever before. Because who told you that just because you are in America, you cannot instill certain discipline and certain training in a child? No, America didn't stop you from doing that. You choose to subscribe to the idea that just because in America, my child should be loose because in America they got freedom. That's a lie.
Oh yes, Mom. Right.
Yeah. So that's where the problem is coming from. And the men of God here and the other brothers say they are saying the same thing. No, you train your children, because even in the Bible that you read, I don't know about the Quran, but it says train up a child in a way that when he or she is old, they will never depart. The reason being, let me tell you about children, maybe when you study the thing about parenting, there are 3 stages in bringing a child. You, the parent, at a certain time, you will impose certain discipline and training upon the child because you are taking care of them. Then there will come a time in life that they will take care of themselves. That's 2. Then the third stage in life, they will be responsible for you, the parent, and themselves. So if you cannot lay the foundation now, why make you think 20, 30 years from now, those same children that are wayward, that adapt the American system, you think they will be able to take care of you, the parent, even when you are in your old age? So why do you neglect your own parental responsibility in the name of living in the West? I don't think that's what the West is all about. Nobody stop you from training your children, from giving them strict discipline and training, because at the end of the day, when you end up doing a good job, it will pay off in the future. So don't say, oh, I in America, they're in a country, the children are American. That's a lie. That's why you believe. Nobody told you that. You came from an African background. You are given a particular set of training and orientation. It is your duty to pass it over to your children. I'm not saying you can abuse them, because I know sometimes in Africa, we engage in abuses. But yeah, you can still instill those same discipline without even touching them. It's up to you as a parent. But Ali, I turn it over to you. That's my final say on the subject matter.
Thank you, Mom. And this is something very important. I stand to be corrected. But for the 2 days I have spent in America, I observed something. The women spoil the children more than the men. That's what I've observed. And that's why for me, I tell my children, I'm an African parent. If you feel you 18 years, you may you have to leave my house. As far as I'm concerned, only one man and one woman in the house. I'm in that time, I leave you. When you under my roof, I pay my rent and bill. Just consider yourself to be child if you want. Then this is why, like, I know how I grew up. When I used to do something, I remember my father beating me. He will lay me down when I do something wrong to my older brother, and he will whip me. So I know that, oh yes, he's older than me. And at my age now, when I tell you I'm not our culture, they can still beat me. Okay, at my age, they can still leave me down in front of my wife and children, they beat me. That's the first thing. I'm not above that yet. Till the day I reach 50 now, I can clap my hand, I'm above it. But below 50, in our family and our culture, you are not above. So you can't disrespect anybody out there. Like my children here, when you do something to your older brother, whatsoever, I lay you down, they whip you. This is how I grew up, and I'm doing it to my children right here. And they know discipline, they respect one another. And that's the culture. Some people, when they come here, oh yeah, this is America. They want to live the American life. The moment children, you see them in this country, when they're 18 years, they will be celebrating, oh yes, I'm now adult, I can do what I want to do on my own. But for me, I believe in discipline, and nothing can change me. America can change me. Any child you don't want to be disciplined, you have to go. And that's one of the things I have observed. The women, they feel like because that 9 months, when they think about it and that delivery pain, they will be like, oh yes. That's what I've observed. They spoil the children here more than the men. When you want to calm down, they always want to think about that pain or whatsoever. But that's not good. So that's just my own take.
Well, let me chip in on that, even though I'm not on that side, but we've been observing and we've been seeing most of these things that, yes, indeed, most of our children or most of our, yes, indeed, most of our people that go on outside, even the bigger one, after some time on, it's not only the children, some people changes, you know, the
Yes.
environment. It's not only children no more.
So you are 100%
yes.
correct. Yes.
Sometimes people change, you know, and let me be frank, Monk and brother Ali, people are saying a very important thing. In this world, maybe, for example, I live from Africa. Yeah, today, Donald Trump now is imposing a lot of sanctions, restrictions, traveling bans, and so forth. I live from here. The reason why we are living from Africa to go to Europe or America is because of better life. Nothing else. Because of better life. But you live from here, you go to the US, like for example, and you're thinking that you and the citizen there, you are equal or you have the same right. My brother, I think it may be something serious may be happening to you.
Yeah.
Something serious may be happening to you, mom. And this is kind of a mistake of what we're making. Because maybe today, I'm hearing that in fact Donald Trump no longer consider the issue of maybe if you're born there, that means automatically maybe you become citizen. No.
Oh yeah, birthright citizenship.
No. So if you have your child as a parent, the first thing is
they will always carry our news there, yeah. Guy,
oh, yeah. Look, I just follow one the other latest. I just posted not too long about marijuana. The man now, in fact, Donald Trump is now saying that marijuana is less drugs. It's not that kind of harmful. So you see, but again, I will go to that. But Monk, you people are saying something important. The bigger one and the children, or the mothers and the fathers, when they live for here, Monk, they feel that they already arrived. Even to come back to think that, yeah, let me go back to invest. If you don't have to give your money to someone, you don't have to send your money to someone but yourself. You can even put your money in a bank. You come down here and even withdraw your money and develop. That one day you will be retired and you will be here freed. But Mark, it is indeed interesting that when our people live from here, Mark, they feel that they already reached heaven. So they don't need any other more thing anymore. And when the people start now to muscle them, remember, you people were supporting Donald Trump, for example. This is the kind of talk we get. You people were supporting Donald Trump, what Donald Trump doing to us? Yes. Africa is our home, whether you like it or not. If you go out there, you go also. Get this thing at the back of your head. Put this same thing into your children. But, you know, people going to forget. Let me be frank.
Maybe it's one of the reasons why I say it's all about your upbringing. That's why they can tell you the most important unit in society is the family. When you get a better family, you get a better community, you get a better county or better state before you get a better nation. And that's why you see no matter what, or how far Liberians are gone from home, we stay talk about issues happening in the country, whether it's the politics, the decision. That's why someone will come from work, they still want to watch Sktv because they want to make their input. They know, maybe the thing here is being in America, It's not even a right, it's a privilege. Once you were never born here, that's why in your passport they put the country of origin. Maybe most people don't get it. You know, they kind of listen to the argument, oh, that Indian people own their country, even the web postal. I said, go tell immigration that nonsense. The people that send the Declaration of Independence, when you look at the picture, anyone that look like your grandpa, that nonsense I'll be talking about. Look, when you are in America, it's only a privilege. They can deny you, they can deport you once you were never born here. Even the social security number are not even the same. They got series of social security number based on the country you come from and the program that you came on. Whether you came on student visa, H-1B visa, church visa, all these things, they put a system to identify your state. They will find a way to identify your country of origin. So when you come here and think that because you're in America and so hard at the end of it, no. I can even tell my diaspora folks, I say at a certain point in time, you will want to go back home. So you cannot say you totally disconnected from Liberia because it's just normal that immigrant, right? Remember, I can ask people, I say, if folks were never leaving the country, why you think America would take 1 million immigrants every year if people were not leaving? People are leaving every day. They only different. They don't tell you. They only tell the world that people are coming, but don't tell you that people are leaving. Because at a certain point in time, immigrants that come here after some years, they be like, well, I got to go back home. I can't spend all my life here, and they go back to that respected country. So when you come here, you want to get out of the way. That's why I keep telling people, when you come to this country, there is nothing called perfection, but try to walk on a chalk line because that privilege, that birthright privilege is not given to you. Now you talk about the law, that's constitutional. People went to the Supreme Court for that law. Birthright citizenship. The only reason people have birth citizenship, it was mainly intended for slaves because slaves were brought here against their will. It was a guy called Dred Scott that took the American government to court. It was in court before. It's nothing new. So when you come from an African country, do your thing, stay out of trouble, groom your children in a way that the day you want to leave from here, you can be able to go and come, stay away from problems.
Yes, and just how Mayborn said it. Not just the children, but we get some of our sisters, some of our brothers, they come here, they see themselves, they say, oh yeah, they want to adapt to the people's system. Forgetting to know, this is not your country. When you come here, put yourself together, know where you're coming from. Like you say, even in your passport, you see your name, for your name, you come to your date of birth, from there, your sex, the next thing you will see in your passport will be place of origin. So you should know, you are just here, simple mistake.
And the thing about everybody, Aliu, and that are more quickly before we go to the line is that to admit, let's be frank and let's confess today. During this slavery or during the slavery time here and there, you know, our people, they were abused, they were killed, and so many things happen here and there, right? You know, and the people modify and say, okay, say all of these things happen, and the people they been doing all of these things. Let's find another way to bring them here so that they'll be able to make money. Instead of us, Monk, let's confess today. Instead of us taking the money and bringing the money back to develop our country or our homes, Monk, we stay there, we buy homes, we get the same money back to the same people, and we'll come back and complain that it won't happen. Oh, my brother, you're saying anything so going to go to the line here, but for me,
you know,
I think we have serious issue and we need a lot of education.
You know, not only the idea that they think that they are American or they been here, they got passports at the end of the world, they got the other stupid concept. The country, the immigrant build the country. I say, okay, immigrant don't build the country. Immigrant helps to sustain this country. If immigrant could build country, tell you the country you came from is so be developed. In your country, you get drinking water. How can you come and confirm that you the one came and build this country? No, you came to a country that you must contribute towards because you live here. Your children will grow up, they will have to contribute. But no, this system was built for it to last over a long period of time. So the idea that you think that because, I pay taxes, I go to work. No, they can revoke anything and everything and send you back to your country because they know. That's why I say, even in your passport, they put that your country.
But don't you even complaining that just because of the immigrants today, that's why the American or the typical Americans, that's why they're not getting jobs.
Oh yeah, because if you bring that they get something in America they call social planning, Mabel. In this country, the population determines the quality of your life. Everything at the hospital, the school, the poor got number, they know the population growth, they got census. When you bring bunch of illegal in their millions, it put pressure on social services because they come from third world country, they take minimum wages, they take low fare because take for example, you go to school here, you got your master or your bachelor's degree, you took loan of $80,000. Okay, you took loan. Somebody come from Mexico. Maybe they made an IT specialist or he's a system administrator. he paid less than 10% of what you pay to go to college here. Why are you looking for the job to get you $40 per hour? Oh, I got given $10, $15 per hour. I can manage because I come from Mexico. My country only poor. I only want $15. What happened to you that took all the loan? So in as much that people will come and why they got a legal system. For me, I'm not for illegal immigration because illegal immigration is a cheating to people who supposed to be here legally. And whenever an illegal enter here, you only depriving one legal citizen of coming in. So why not play by the rule? That's why some of us will say, no, we don't support the whole issue of illegal immigration because what you are doing, you are creating problems for people who supposed to be here. Because they're not Africa, the people know their numbers. They know that's why they say we take 1 million immigrants and they have been doing it for the past 33 years. They have never changed. 1 million immigrants from all over the world every year. So what more can you ask for? So you guys who come here, immigrant build a country, keep building country. The country can not even build. They won't talk about building other country. What can I send that mean?
But anything before go to the lab, man, we got to go to the lab to interact with our people on today more because. But actually, this latest in fact discussion is important. I think we will take one on the day to also maybe put some things in the mind of our African brothers and sisters because, like for example, if Nigerians come here in Liberia, you see their behavior. It just tells you that when people leave from our country to go to your country, they go hustle. But for us, when we leave from here, we go to some other country, we just go marry me. We go enjoy, we go flex, and everything. But my brother, go ahead, are you?
Yeah, like Mon said when President Trump was trying and he's still doing it to get rid of illegal immigrants in this country, when some of us were supporting the people were like, oh, you think it's good for them to be deporting other people? Even you say America is not your country. Yeah, America is not my country. I'm here legally. Like the example Mon just gave. You can go take 18,000 to go to school and you're supposed to get a job that they will be paying you maybe $25 an hour and somebody came here illegally and then you will go settle down for $10, $15. Why make you think that somebody coming to be paying you $25 an hour if they can pay somebody $10, $15 an hour? So we are not against people coming to the country, but come legally. You see, and one thing I observe, like I'm seeing some changes now when it comes to hourly rate. I don't know about your state, but for my state, the job we do now, since President Trump came in, I've seen some changes. There are where sometimes I used to see people making $20 and $22. I have seen it increasing. And I believe these are some of the reasons. There were so many illegal immigrants that could settle for anything that you can give them. But these are some of the good things. It's not a bad thing. Today in Liberia, we'll be complaining, oh, look at Sierra Leone men, look at Nigerian men, they're taking our job. Well, now you're against it in your country, but when another man is doing it, then you want to say, oh, what the man doing is not good. Why be so hypocritical?
You know, the one I don't stand about them, Aliu, the one that can piss me off, right? In the whole world, Liberia has one of the most racist constitution and immigration law where we do things based on the color of our skin. I keep asking, how can you come from a country like Liberia and criticize our country that take 1 million immigrants per year on average from all over the world? Yeah, you don't want to be talking about racism. You don't read your own immigration law. You don't know where you come from. How can you come from a country like Liberia and criticize our system? Remember, it's not only education. It's not only about wages. Even when it comes to healthcare, even when it comes to housing, the availability, people give payment. That's why the people in the country, the guys they call social planner. When you drive on the street, any city you enter in, where you can see the sample, the name of the city and the population. Why is that the case? Because the quality of your life determines the services that are available for a certain amount of people. When when the city of Brooklyn Center is scheduled or is capacity there to host 50,000 inhabitants, you cannot bring 130,000 people in the city. You will collapse the social structure. That's why the assistant, they got entry, they know who coming, where you coming from. They do your medical test, they do your background check, they go to your former schools, they ask people. So why you should go through all the hoops? Matter of fact, they got Liberian that came here just to be legal, they had to marry. They had to stay in line. They work with permit, they work that way 15, 20 years. So if your own brother must go through all that hoops just to become legal, what make you think it's okay for someone to get coming in illegally? I don't know how you're not bringing well when it comes to the people, politics and culture. I really don't know. You can confuse me every day. Every day they can
but Mom, let me get a small example. Maybe most of the time, your transformer then can blow up. Why you think it's happening? Because you make one over there, paying for your meter, you get your meter, your house, you buy your credit, but somebody there, they not buy meter, they still the current. So the weight is heavy on the transformer.
And these are people that are also supporting though. These are people, some of them they are supporting. That means the government though, or they are supporting some leaders. But they will cost you even the community. When you tell them about you get meter, they say, oh, you probably where you get money. Oh, you probably where you work. It's still not
because everything I in the country, maybe, and the one I can confuse me about them, right? The main reason you came to this country is for opportunity and the quality of life. That's why they call industrialized country. You got better roads, you got better school, you got better hospital, increase your living standard. Okay, why you think in your country all these septic tanks they are all flooded with people on the street? Because you got too many people concentrated in one part of the city. So you put social pressure on everything that's available. You don't have bigger roads. You got more patients than doctors available in the country. That's why you see all your people going to Ghana and other countries. So why make you think the same thing that caused the country to collapse? Why you won't bring it to the great society where everybody can come in? Does that make any sense to you? The same reason you ran away from your country in search of better life, in terms of better living, better wages, better job. Why you think it makes sense to bring that same system to come and collapse the great system here? Just because you want to go against the rule, when in fact they got laws for people to come here legally. How do you explain that? Or you want
I see people that will tell you that Labrador government system is bad.
It's bad. Yeah, but they won't bring Labrador to America. The lab boss, everybody's okay also.
Well, this is the topic. Look, what you guys are saying, it is indeed interesting. But I go to the line. I didn't hear from our people today because they've been calling back to back. Let me see quickly to this first caller. Good evening. Yes, my sister, go ahead.
I want to tell you guys, thank you for the discussion. I mean, every time you go on radio, down with education. But you know, with all of the discussion you people have, everything draws down to law for country. We as Liberia, we don't have law for the country. For our leader down to us. But one of the things that really suffering in the country and neighbor. I won't go forward. I just want to say thank you, yeah.
All right, sister. Thank you, Law for Country. Today's caller, good evening. Hello. All right. Keep a call coming 0770203125. That's the number to call for you to be part of the show. Wow. Okay. Let me see. Charles Cooper. Charlie, good evening.
Good evening, Lebon.
Yeah, my brother, go ahead. Yes, your voice a little bit low though. Let me check my volume. But go ahead.
Yeah, maybe I just want to chip in on what President Trump is doing in America. You know, maybe I am a complete Trumpist.
Okay.
I'm a strong supporter of President Trump. If when Africa can hire a leader, President Trump, I think Africa is going to move forward. Okay. President Trump is simply teaching African leaders three things: love your country, develop your country, and cater to the welfare of your citizens. That's what the man is doing for America. He puts America first. Imagine our leader putting Liberia first. You know what we're going to happen in Liberia? With the abundant resources we have here, in every concession agreement, put Liberia first. In every concession agreement, make sure they develop Liberia. In every concession agreement, know that you are getting into it with love for country, not love for your pocket. And that's what President Trump is doing. And people say the man is a racist. You know, African, I don't know what. Sometimes they think about our leaders can learn from the Western leaders. So I think African leaders need to learn from President Trump and put their country first. And our president love to, but even if I wasn't, not he. So it's time for us.
All right, thank you, Love for Country. Keep your calls coming 0770203125. We're already in the festive season, so this is how we want to roll. I leave for a little time up to the season, the Christmas and so forth. Empathy, Love for Country, where you sometimes we travel, and at the end of the day, we also abandon our country, and so now we support. No, the country is just the life that we all live is indeed interesting. Either we give positively or we give negatively. That's how we look some of us. Either we support any kind of bad things or we support something that will be good. That's how we look. But keep your calls coming 70203125. Today's caller, good evening. Hello? Hello? Yes, my brother, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Yeah, thank you very much for your show, Mayborn. We have put out the news from here. I'm going to discuss for Community Market and legacy of Mayborn, you see, this lot of people that we're talking about. Some of us, some people in this country, they think God and Mayborn, they went to school, they got degree, they got master's degree, they heard about words and nationality, they heard about words and faith, everything. So I don't know why, when it comes to public offices, they do the contrary thing. The actual meaning of the word is that explain. I want to better forsake me in life. You see, you went to school, you learn about the word. What's the actual meaning of the word? Why you just think about it and apply it? It's not happening. But in the other countries, they went to school, they learn it, they apply it. When you're working word, you went to school, you get a master, they still word, they don't know the meaning, they apply it. But you come to your home, 400 in Africa, taking money for your from China to other people.
I say, yes, indeed, you're right. If I'm doing capital flight, sending money here, the children, your wives, all of them, they are not here, they are all, yeah.
So that the meaning of the word you learn, and you apply it, so therefore I can get frustrated with tonight, when by the actual meaning of words that they learn, they can better help and meaning. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's move to David King. David King, good evening. Are you also part of the capital flight? You sending your money up and down?
Why would I take guys and send it somewhere else? You know, people are not nationalistic. People are not patriotic. They are not systematic. Because the issue here is that people like Trump is a nationalist, a true nationalist. And I listened to the head of delegation when the COPA sent the people here to our government. And the lady said the COPA will not be about the way they used to have it. It will be about trade. So you see, America now not giving you COPA because you value human rights, you value rule of law, or you value the other law. No, I give and take. You see the HBLD, that they file like 6G because Mr. Bwaga and his team want the COPA. So they have to do everything in favor of America so that they can be able to get what America wants for them and what they also want for America. So people in the country, they should learn to be nationalistic. But because we are not nationalistic, this is why by the time you give them civil job in the country, they let money they pay for there, they send that family to America. Then they all got the GSA, the deputy for operation there. That brother, you were here, they sit down with your family, by the time Joseph Bogan be deputy for operation, the family go to America, they're going to live there. And they escape from this very country. Because they don't believe in the country that they say they're serving. All of them pretend, they are just pretender. They take money and go Ghana and go buy a house there. They take money and go America and go buy a house there. Yesterday, Jojo Baga could not buy anything to an alcohol, but you call me and say, please send me to an alcohol and alcohol in my meter. Today, that brother got a home, he got $1 million home in America. This is how the country look like. And people think that we will deal like this forever. This is not a curse on our country, but we will pray that we need deliverance. We pray that God will deliver us to live the right way. Thank you.
Thank you, David King. Compliment the season to all of you. Keep a course coming. Nationality. In fact, where are you as person? But this is interesting. The last talking point. It is indeed interesting. Where are we as people? Sometimes when they give us little position, even some of us will be living in America. By the time they call us and say you can't work, then we take. Look, let me reason. That was sometimes when we stand with some of the activities of Donald Trump, people get angry and say, maybe you people are supportive. No, for me, I support my country and I live and I love my country. Oh God, people don't even understand. But keep a course coming 0770-203-125. That's the number to call this evening and be part. What's you with all of the talking points? Maybe it's on the social issue, but please don't go quarter with anybody. You got to be safer. Yeah, with the speaker and this is our leader. But again, we take a few more calls. More maybe hopefully on tomorrow momentarily chipping also with the news coming from Nigeria with a Nigerian billionaire. Also, yes, there are a lot of trending news.
Oh, your lawmaker just on 8 or block with I mean debating.
Yeah, hold on. Hello. Yeah, hello, my brother. Go ahead. Well, we're not getting you. Please move away from your monitor. Yeah, Mark, what you are saying, my brother? Go ahead. Mark? Okay, cool. So keep your calls coming. Call out those of you who are calling, but please move away from your monitor because the sound from your back or behind you there is not too good for us. Yeah, so in Nigeria, we are getting report that a Nigerian billionaire, right, Adu Sami Rabio, I don't know what it is that his name has awarded $20.7 million US or mark, over 30 billion naira in cash gift to 510 employees of his company, Mark. This is the first time. Even though Donald Trump also talking about giving, I don't know how many million or how many money to soldiers, but Mark, this is the first time, especially in Africa, that we hear about this. So maybe this will be our talking point tomorrow about dedication, loyalty, people that are loyal to you, how well you pay them back. Because this news is trending that this billionaire gave $20.7 million US to his 510 employees, and on that mark, he gave the 5 senior staff members were given 690,000 each USD though. 690,000 USD each to his 5 senior staff or senior staffs. So those of you today who are loyal to so many people, Mark, what's the you quickly just check on that? The issue of loyalty, and people are dedicating their time to people, but especially for Liberia, you know somebody back at the end of the day, either you get old, you get sick, you die, you go free of charge.
Well, we're expanding on that tomorrow, but that's a great topic, and it's a very good thing. It's smart business. When you're into business, right? Maybe I told you everything about human being is psychological. It first comes to the mind before people can implement the action, right? Let me tell you something. When workers are paid decent wages, it makes them to go beyond the call of duty. Maybe if you are paid to your job, you get benefit, you get incentive, you got maybe your retirement package, all the things we can call 401k and social security benefit. All these things, they are just there to entice you to come to work every day, to give you a reason as to why you should leave your home and your family to go and dedicate your life to someone. And it's a kind of an investment. Because smart business people know that if they can pay you decent wages, it will increase your output. And when the output of the employee increases, what it leads to? It leads to more sales, the expansion of the business. So they almost like they are just planting seeds into the future. That's why you see, you go to some company, they give you sick time off, they give you leave, they give you all the... No, it's just a motivating factor so you can come and just break your back for the company. And some people, they got some corporation and company that a parent can be working as making recommendation for the children to come after. Why do you think they would do that? Because they went there, they saw how they were treated, that kind of for dignity, that kind of for respect. You know, the boss, he's not, and you know, one thing about leadership, people believe that to be, with me, you can get come and you post on. No. The real leader is people who train other people to become leaders. You train them, they are under your mentorship, they follow the way how you conduct business, the way you talk to your employees, the kind of incentive you get in. At the end of the day, the same people that work under you, some of them will end up taking with that company and you will give them more responsibility. So when I hear about corporations and companies investing into the employee, I say, no, all they are doing is doing smart business because they know in the long run, they will get that money back and way more than what they are investing. All they are doing, they are just motivating their workers to do the right thing and to increase their production or their productivity, which will be profitable to the company or the establishment in the long term. That's why people give incentive. That's it. It's nothing more. It's a very smart business, trust me. But when you got
wonderful, Mark,
yes, they got they got people who are too greedy. You know, the reason business will lay off or businesses will lay off because maybe circumstances can change. Economy can get bad. Maybe the demand for your product reduces and you need fewer staff. That one is understandable. But they got some corporations, they got some greedy CEOs, right? The company is making good business. They are bringing in more money. They are getting profit. But guess what? They want fewer people to do the job for more people. So take for example, you got a business, you got 100 employees, you still making profit, but guess what? You want for 50 employees to do the work of 100 employees because you think you will save money, that when the greediness can come in. That's why they call crony capitalism. When you want to use other people and make excess amount of money because you want to take the whole part home for you and your family while neglecting the other people. So we're talking about.
Yes, indeed, Mark. Actually, I don't know, but you're just making an entire discussion not to be like, in fact, that we are already into today, because our sister Nora Hawks also asking whether it's real money or paper. I think this is real money, 100%, because the news is trending also in Nigeria. And you know the issue of
maybe one second. I will let you end the show, right? This topic is really deep because something Don Gate did that brought problem to in Nigeria, people criticizing, and he justified. Wherein they hired 11,000 Indians to run the oil refinery in Nigeria because it's one of the biggest refineries he's building in the world. And people say, why he hiring Indians and he not hiring Nigeria? Because he said the Nigerians that degree that people. He talking about people with technical hands-on skill. That's why he brought Indian know how to run a refinery. So we're talking about all that. I just want to remind you about that. So
thank you. Well, all that will be into our discussion on tomorrow. But Ali, what say you with the latest that news with the issue of people just using people as, oh, Mabon is loyal to me 5 years, half a decade, or so 10 years. They present loyal to you, even though tomorrow we'll go more deeper. But we just pass into what say you, my brother.
That's it that I told you today. Liberia, when you are loyal, they call you stupid man, they call you Mungu, they will use you. But when you steal it, you become a criminal, they worship you, they celebrate you. That's why you will not find loyalty there. Because who want to be called stupid or mumu? So we all be stealing. These are some of the things. But this is a good topic for tomorrow. We will dive into it. But that's it. Like more you know here, when you work anywhere for 5 years, they are going to elevate you because while you are being there, you committed to the work. You are dedicated, you work with passion and everything. You see, you getting 401k, you getting PTO, all of these things encourage you. Do we have any encouragement in the country? There? No. That's why you see people stealing and people worship them, they celebrate criminals. They don't celebrate people who are loyal. So it's a great show. Till we see you again tomorrow. God bless America. God bless Liberia. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear brother, Mark. So there you have it. You know, our people. Thank you, all of you, those of you who are calling in. Sorry that we had to go no time. So hopefully on tomorrow, but we will continue on this path up to the season. We don't just want to go too deep now into most of your how politics, because we are already into the festive season. We're talking about empathy, talking about love. We're talking about the way you treat people. You know, that's how we're going to go up to the time. The love, the social aspect, the way we do things. But more thank you for that thing, for bringing the pastor. And we hope more. I think you got to make some arrangement. Maybe every Wednesday we'll be able to have so many people on. I need to talk to our people.
No, you know that the most people, they don't understand the nature of SKTV, and we're expecting them will come to this social issue. This is not only, it's not only a political show. Yeah, we discuss politics, but it's not political only. So if you are out there, whether you are a nurse, whether you are a doctor or Liberians, whether you're in the diaspora or back home, sometimes you come and you contribute to the show. Whether you're a pastor, you are imam, come here. I mean, we all learn from each other, no matter our tribal affiliation or religious affiliation. There is something to learn from every culture and every religion. You just need to know what to look for. So when you can help elevate the society, then why not? We just saw what Pastor Cummins did today about they transitioning from from Liberia to America, and they all bring up our kids. These are the kind of things, because some of the people that saw me talking this thing, no, they kind of man call the cause on the internet. I never thought I would have spent in my lifetime. So we must be the responsible adult and do the right thing. That's all we can say, people.
Thank you, my dear brother. So there you have it, people. Those of you, thanks to all of you. That's it. We got to go home now. No much time, but hopefully join us tomorrow. We continue with the same thing, but tomorrow will be a serious discussion with the issue of people who are loyal, dedicated people, or people who play out of their part in your life. They take, sometimes there are people, they work for you almost 18 hours, so not 20 hours. They don't have time for themselves. But at the end of the day, you gave them chicken tea.
And maybe sorry, yesterday we were discussing something here with the end, and so many people reached out to me yesterday. Oh yeah, we have to end that topic, but maybe tomorrow we can take maybe 10 minutes, or where I was asking Mom about this whole thing about protest business. Yeah, so Yeah, we want to know what were the things that were happening during the 6 months of George Weah administration that called the CPP or COP protest. And today we get 2 years of Joseph Boakai administration, and we're talking about integrity, the face of the. So people, we didn't end it yesterday, and people were wishing for us to end it. Tomorrow. Yes.
Yeah, so you're right. So we will talk about
it. You can take the first half of the show, then we'll do the worker compensation and the second half. Maybe we can do it that way.
Yeah, we can do that. But thank you so much, Mark. Thanks to Brother Ali. People compliment on the season to all of you, our dear channel listeners, our followers. We'll see you again on tomorrow. Good night. Thanks to our dynamic CEO, Honorable Musa Hassanbelete, Lai Belete, and the rest of you there, our workaholic, head of radio and programs, O'Neill Summa Rappers. Good night. I'm Johnson Cooler. We see you tomorrow.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking about podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Monitor people who waiting to sell. The blessing that time and the efforts are rest. The project is giving us here the promise of them. The welcome and life with African.
I lyrical
Master.
I can't ask Sktv-Lib. Say my journey, Tina can ask my jamo. And yes, I know money. And more, and you love
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Muscle rather lofa and grandbaza.
And I didn't ya to money, and I said ya to money, and I wanna play ya to money, and I could do ya to money, and I didn't ya to money, and I said ya to money, and I wanna play ya to money, and I could do ya to money, and I don't get it now ya to money. That's the thing, and I don't get it now. Cause you walk on my ya to money. Yeah.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Muscle rather lofa and grandbaza.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking about podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Monitor people who waiting to sell. The blessing that time and the efforts are rest. The broadcast we giving a real and the promise my best. The work with my life with us, yeah. From Grandpa's and Nima to Lusa, from River Sass, River G to Chide, from Grand Crew, Bombing, Cape Mount, Monserrat, Sanu to Backwalu, from Maryland, Bonkan to the Mikey B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa.